Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick comic haul. I was at the Rich City Comic Con this past weekend and boy was it fantastic. I just can't get over these small cons. I do so well at them. This one was, I would say, had moderate attendance. And by that I mean every table had at least a few people at them and they were engaged and they were buying and they were talking and a lot of comic talk was happening. I love cons like that. And then also to top it all off, there were big books for sale, there were small books for sale in various conditions, and if there was a book you wanted, you probably found at least one copy of it, maybe one or two to choose from. So a big turnout for actual comic lovers, and then it also had a ton of toys. So I showed a toy haul a few days ago. I'll have another toy haul coming up. So lots of toys, lots of comics, and collectibles. So those are my favorite things. Not too many of like you ever see like a sock puppet or made into Deadpool or some yarn art. And no offense to anyone who does that, I couldn't do it. It's pretty cool, but I also don't buy a lot of that. And a lot of these small cons, there tends to be table after table after table of nothing but like that kind of stuff. Homemade, pieces of wood with something etched in the middle, and they're like, oh, that's a Captain America piece of wood, so you need to buy that for $50. I'm not buying it. I tell you what I will buy for $50, and that's Batman Damned #1. So, what's the story on old Batwang here? Well, for me, I was a holdout on this book, obviously, because I just now picked it up. Well past its $150 phase. And I think what tanked this book all the way down to $50, which is not bad for a modern key book. There's a lot more expensive books than this out there. Is that and this condition? I would say it's probably a 9.4 or a 9.6 if I had to guess. There's no visible damage, but if I took it out of the poly, you would see that there's some slight. So this book has kind of an odd finish to it. So if you go across it with anything sharp or scratchy, it'll put like a scratch in the finish. So there's no color breaking or anything like that, but if you hold it to the light just right, you'll see a couple of scratches kind of to the finish. And so to me, that'll bring it down to about a 9.4. I don't think it could go much lower than that. On a good day, it could get a 9.6 or maybe even a 9.8, but I think probably a 9.4 is where it's at. Well, the thing that brought this book down, of course, as you know, is all the 10.0s and 9.9s and 9.8. I never seen a book that was harder to sell than a 9.8. Everyone's holding out for that 10.0. All of a sudden, what became big about this book wasn't the Batwang, but the fact that you could get a 10.0 CGC out of it. And so a lot of people just go for that. So that's the new collectability of this book. It's so funny how it started out with something ridiculous like the Batwang, and then turned into something even more ridiculous with a 10.0 Batwang. So I don't know how many more times I can say Batwang in this video without the YouTube censors cracking down on me. But since we got Batwang and Crackdown in the same sentence, we'll say it one more time. So anyway, it's a book that I wanted only because it's one of those, everybody was picking this book up. I don't usually do that because the price gets too high, but I have been wanting this book just to have it in my collection. I think in the modern era of, risque or recalled books, which I have tons of in my collection, this is a key for that. So there you go. It's a key because it's a book DC wish they hadn't put out, and that's all I need to be in my collection. So there you go. Batman Damned #1, I estimate a 9.4. And I picked it up for $50. So I was pretty happy with that. I don't always say the cost of the books that I pick up, but in that case, I thought it was necessary. Look at that, 4 minutes on the Batwang. That was my last one. I picked up the Demon #1. This is another book. So I missed out on this book on a Facebook auction one time, and man, I was mad. One of those snipers on the hill, and right before the auction ended, the guy literally in a matter of seconds had me beat by it. And I was winning this book, and then he came and sniped it at the end. And this book, to me, is about a $40 to $50 book. I didn't want to spend that. Last time I was looking to buy it, it was about $20, and this time I got it for like $18. So really happy with that. There was a great seller at the con, had all kinds of nice books, tons of like gold key books, and had a lot of, he was a great low grade Silver Age and Bronze Age collectibles. So lots of low grade books, which is right in my wheelhouse. And what's funny is I talked to the guy and he says, oh, this is Jack Kirby art, of course, on the Demon. So this guy says, well, we were talking about books, and he's like, well, I'm a high-grade collector. But everything he was selling was low-grade. And he had slabs, too, and even the slabs were low-grade. They were like 8.0s at best. Of course, if you can get an 8.0 for a silver or bronze, that ain't bad at all. That's nothing to sneeze at. But he had like 8.0 coppers, you know? And he had like 4.0 bronze and silver. So it was really interesting. So I was talking to the guy, and I was like, yeah, I love, you know, nice low-grade collector like me. And he was like, no, I'm a high-grade collector. And then it clicked. I was like, oh, I get it. He's a high-grade collector, but he collects everything, and he sells the low-grade. So he had long box after long box. This guy probably had 30 long boxes of low-grade silver and bronze, and it was awesome. I didn't pick up a lot of books from him, though, because I'm not really working in any silver runs. He had a ton of ASM, a ton of X-Men, but I had most of those that I saw he had. I already had. And he had a lot of other run fillers, but if you were looking to fill a Silver Age run, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, this was your guy. So he had this book. It was only 18 bucks. He clearly wasn't valuing it that much, so I snagged it. And I swear, I saw books this same condition later at the con, easily going for 60 bucks. So very, very happy to have this book. This book has slipped through my fingers before, but it came back around to me, and I got it for less. So love that. Well, I'll leave it up there. And next is a book, maybe I overpaid, I don't know. But this one was Zatanna number 16. It's Dem Legs cover. I'm a big Adam Hughes fan. If I can get an Adam Hughes book, that's one of his classic books like this one is. For reasonable, what I consider reasonable for Adam Hughes books. To me, if it's under 50 bucks and it's a book I really want and consider one of his modern classic covers, then I go for it. But and this one was priced at over 50, but I worked him down on the price because there were several that you can't see it, and it's even harder to see inside the top loader. But if I hold it just right, you see that? That right there, and that right there, and that right there. A little bit of white. It's like very, very faint. The camera is picking it up though. And that's actually like some sort of debris. There's some more up here. That's actually like some kind of debris. I'm pretty sure it can be cleaned off, but with all that red, if you've ever pressed or cleaned, if you've ever worked cleaning books, you know that red is a nemesis color. Anything you take to it will change the hue of the red. I've never had a good cleaner to work on a straight red color like that. It always removes color. So I'm very leery of doing any kind of work on a red cover. So I'm gonna try some absorbing just to kind of take off some of the surface, but I'm afraid it might rip something underneath. So I gotta be real careful. I may clean this book or I may just leave it the way it is, but because of all that damage, I don't think it's slabbable. So I worked him down on the price some to get it back to where I thought it was appropriately priced. And next, we have Tales of Suspense, Iron Man and Captain America number 99. Killer cover. I mean, now, ever since I've been on Comigories on Matt, the Boy Who Had Seven's channel, I look at certain books as category books. So to me, this is a great water category book. It's a great trap book if that's ever been a category on that. So anyway, if you're looking at your collection as a game show and somebody says, hey, pull up a water cover. Boom, that's a great water cover. Fantastic. Good color, good rich color on this book for its age, of course. Iron Man and Captain America number 99. Tales of Suspense number 99. So the last time that it stayed with Captain America and Iron Man in the book. Of course, from here out, Iron Man gets his own title with Invincible Iron Man number 1. Fantastic book. Love, love, love that cover. Iron Man getting served. So there you go. We'll go back through the books. Iron Man and Tales of Suspense, number 99. Zatanna, number 16. Great Adam Hughes cover. The Demon, number 1. Jack Kirby. And Batman Damned, number 1. That's it. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And boy, I can't leave it like that. It's gotta be them legs. I hope y'all enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. Remember, read a comic, and above all, don't apologize for the glare. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.